so glad your girlfriend listens to the show because
hell. Shout out to
We
Trinity.
got a viewer.
We're on, ready to go. He's still in bed. Oh, this is last week. Oscar's bloody useless.
All right, we on? It looks like there we go.
We're on. Sorry for those listening. Fuck, we talked about some good stuff. Yeah, I'll start again. Episode 152.
We're starting from the beginning again.
AKA Pat Lane from this is a strength coach for the Roosters. What a great position. And we was talking about heaps of shit. We got about 3 minutes in. We'll talk about how strong you've got this off season.
Hasn't happened.
Anyway, so basically, it's just not as enthusiastic
When you're rehashing?
talk about it the second time.
No, well, let's just do the lightning round. People pick up on the energy. And, look, if they want to find out more about how Pat's lifting was going on earlier in the year, you're not going to find out because he wasn't posting on socials around then. So it's going to remain a mystery. But hit us with some PB. So you're 95 kilos body weight. You're leading from the front, showing the young footy boys how it's done.
Yeah, go from there.
Where was I at? I don't know.
150 bench. I saw that.
150 bench, yeah, but I was doing 150 last year, so
Bench is the one that everyone seems to stall out on.
that's honestly exactly how I feel. I feel like I've stalled on that. In saying that, though, my incline press and my overhead press are definitely I PB'd my incline press and my overhead press. I hadn't been able to press 90 like consistently for forever, really. Like I've done it a few times, but I pressed for the last month or so. I've been hitting it almost weekly, and I've had a few cracks at 95. Haven't hit it, but that's exactly.
So you're not going up smaller increments.
Well, I don't.
Has to be
At the
five.
Roosters gym, the smallest increment goes
No
2.5.
micros. Dude,
Nice.
if you want to come around to the stadium club, I can lend you some 1.25s.
Yeah, I might need
if
to
you
do
want
that.
to
I
hit
think
that
I've
PB.
put some 1.25s on the wish list for next season.
1.25s are an illegitimate plate, though. Why is that? It just shouldn't exist. It's a thing that only exists in commercial gyms. You're meant to have 0.5s, 1s, 2s.
Yeah?
No, sorry, hold on. 0.5s, 1s, 1.5s, 2s, 4s.
4s? No.
Sorry,
Nah,
no, there's no
definitely no
4s.
fours.
Sorry,
'Cause
I
you
was
got
gonna make
2.5.
fours.
Nah, 2.5 because they
twos,
follow the
and then
same colour
2.5s.
scheme
Sorry,
as
yeah,
the big bumpers. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Bamboozled
you don't
myself a
have
little
those.
bit.
Yeah, if you want to sort of drop down a level, come over to
You
the
got to be
stadium
such a
club for
scrapper to
set.
take a 1 kilo PR, though.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that.
I'll tell you what's grim. We have
Well,
clips
I did. One time I put on 2 sets of clips.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the videos I did post during the year was we had the boys hit. We were in Queenstown for a camp, and we had 1RM hang power clean, I think.
Fuck yeah.
And
Nice.
we had about half a dozen easy. There was about 5 or 6 guys that hit 130, but no one beat it because we're at a gym as well. I don't even know if they might have had 2.5s.
Yeah.
Like in the big plates. But anyway, no one actually beat 130. We had 5 or 6 sitting on that.
Who were the boys? Do you remember
Oh.
that were on there? The
The
listeners love this shit.
Just gonna
So do I.
Test my memory now. I know. So there was definitely Victor Radley, Latrell Mitchell. The big one, the surprise one, was COC Watakiaho. He
There's a handful that name.
But more impressive than the power clean was your pronunciation of his
He,
name. There was
but-
no hesitation.
yeah, but he wasn't like the season before wasn't one of the big dogs when it came
Yeah.
to the Olympic lifts. But I actually remember before he actually was due back to start preseason. I think he went away on holiday or whatever he did, but he came in for a session with me. Well, I was already back training the younger boys, and he came in one day. It might have been a day off or whatever. So we did some time together. He's like, "Oh, I want to work on my power cleans."
That's the prop, yeah.
Yeah, front
The
rower,
one that
yep.
got sent off against
Yep.
the Melbourne game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this must have been like
Don't
November.
worry.
I threw a couple of
Yeah.
haymakers.
Okay. Respect.
Good on
Yeah.
the refs for letting them back on though.
Yeah. So we did some work like in November, like during his break,
Mid work by the sounds of it.
and then he came back, and then January, he's up there. He's up like equal record. So I had on the record board. It was actually frustrating. I had to have 6 names on the board for one lift.
Also,
And
you
the
couldn't-
board's already
you couldn't
chockers
sort
full
it out.
anyway.
You
Nah,
couldn't-
couldn't sort it out.
So,
But the point of the
and
story
have you
is,
figured it out though?
hey,
Have you figured out who was top dog for the hang power clean or no?
oh well, someone else ended up doing 135 later in the year anyway. So
Who?
Respect.
Jared, I think was
Okay.
He might
He's
have
so
been
heavy, though.
suspended, and he
Well,
hit,
that's
it, he hit
fair.
during a week of
Nah,
suspended.
you got to be actively playing because if you're suspended, you can.
Oh, it
Just
was a
take
one
few
week- 1
weeks
week
of
off, so
specificity.
I think-
that's all you need.
I think
Dial
that's
it in.
right. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right.
130 hang power clean's pretty filthy though. Like in my eyes, that's the hardest variation. I suck at hang powers.
Yeah, I go through phases where I feel like I'm better from the floor, and then I feel like other times I'm better from the hang. I haven't done a lot of power cleans from the floor this year. I've just started this week actually.
Yeah.
We like myself and more so the boys spent a lot more time working from the hang during the season, just because.
Bit more specific, you feel?
It's so on the day we did our Olympic lifting was on the day we're obviously chasing velocity. So obviously when you're using the stretch reflex, the bar moves a lot faster.
Shifted
So,
a bit more, yeah.
and obviously there's times where you might want to remove that stretch reflex and more concentrate on RFD, maybe from blocks or something like that. But more often than not, in fact, I'm going to say 99% of the time, whether we were cleaning or snatching, we were from the hang in season.
I like that. So a lot of the Roosters or all the Roosters know how to power clean for the first grade team?
I think out of about 30 players, there's only 3 players that wouldn't clean for whatever reason,
I like
good
that.
reason, but
Yeah.
they all snatch. So if we back in preseason, if we were cleaning on one day, snatching on another day, those boys would actually just snatch twice the week. Maybe one of them doesn't like they don't like the front rack, or to be honest, it's more individualization. They're just like if they're more sort of speed, agility, that type of athlete, then I want them working more on the snatch. It's a faster movement as opposed to, for me, the power clean's all about collision. Like if they're not cutting the ball up, then they don't really, the snatch is going to be more beneficial for them. So guys like fullbacks, halves, that type of player, they're going to spend more time on snatching rather than
Also
cleaning.
requires a bit
That's
more
good.
finesse
I like
as
because
well.
a lot of
It's not really a prop thing.
a lot of strength coaches
No,
come
like,
on
well, yeah.
come on the show and seem to shy away from it, saying that they might just get them to pull and stuff like that. But it's good to hear that you got a whole team of guys that
I don't
are
like
extremely capable.
I don't like pulling. We do pulls. I should say actually we do pulls. In fact, the last month or 6 weeks or so, I was trying to push them more to pull because it was more of a, it was to help with that whole taper thing, like taking out the catch and actually focusing more on the, the peak velocity scores on the push bands as opposed to trying to hit those scores, but also catching the weight. When you're high pulling, obviously it's all about that triple extension, all about that speed on the push band. So, but yeah, more often than not, I'm going to catch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's sort of like, what the fuck are we doing?
And even the hang power clean, I find, even with myself, yesterday I was doing repeat like sets of 6, and you're getting so much triple extension towards the back end of the set because you don't have another
You have to.
choice.
Yeah,
you
of
really
course.
have to like put everything into it.
I was doing 5s this week on power cleans, and I've never.
Off the
I don't
ground?
think I've
Oh,
never
dude,
done that.
That's lightheaded shit right there.
Well, it was, and like it was pretty light, I suppose. But like, it was just because I
Don't
haven't.
say the number and hurt my feelings.
Because I haven't done it for most of the year. I was like, I'm just gonna start light, higher reps, just
Yeah.
like you would with anything else.
Yeah.
And then, trust me, next week I'm doing 3s. I'm going straight to 3s next week.
They don't want to
weights
keep it
you
5s
lift
and put the weight
don't
up
even
there.
exist in Paddy's
Yeah, I
well,
know.
because Oscar's work sets will be 80, but you seem like the kind of guy who goes 60, 100.
Yeah,
Correct
yeah,
me if
yeah.
I'm wrong.
No, I would never go 60 or 100 unless I'm deadlifting.
Oh,
But I'll go
okay, there we
60,
go.
80, 100.
See, my
I thought I had him there.
my goal next year is for
I don't
all
touch 80,
like
FYI.
yeah, I know
Don't
you don't.
touch
Fuck.
it. Really?
Yeah, but I was doing 6s. I was
Animal
doing
kids
6s.
changed my ways. I make jumps too slow.
Oh,
so now it
grease the
makes me
groove.
go last few times. Yeah, I'm a bit too much that way, so I think he's trying to drag me back to the other side, get a bit more animal
it's-
in me.
it's-
So to
yeah,
speak.
yeah.
We go 70, 100
Right,
For what?
right.
for
Snatch?
a clean. No. One time, first time I trained with Animal Kid, he was snatching off blocks with Sonny Webster, and they were like, Angus, come jump in. Or Animal Kid was like, Angus, come jump in with us. I was like, this is a bad idea because I'm not very strong. And then they go, 70. I miss one. First rep, miss in front of an Olympian. All of a sudden, just instantly drenched in sweat. And then they jumped straight to 110. I was like, thanks, boys. I'm out.
Did you hit A lift?
I hit 170 kilo snatch after I failed one.
Yeah, okay, that's good. So you went in for a bit of redemption.
Yeah.
What was the vibe? Were they supportive or were they just sort of?
I thought
skipping
Sonny
over
hated me initially, but then it was just a poor choice for me to work in on the
Set
same
you up with a
bar
bar
as
on
an
the side.
Olympian. Yeah, turns out. Yeah. But then I saw him at CrossFit Wonderlust. He was like, oh, hey. So, yeah, he gets around me.
Was
a
he
bit.
like, hey, Angus, or was he like, oh, hey, mate?
No, he doesn't know my name.
Okay, fuck him.
We're not boys like that.
Okay, not yet.
Yeah. Also, we've asked him, like...
Should get him on the podcast.
No, because
Okay.
a guy I used to work with is mates with him. And then when I saw them at Fitness First, Darren's heaps supportive. He was like, oh, Sonny, Angus has a podcast. Should go on it. And Sonny was like... and then Animal Kid as
not
well
keen.
said it to him because Animal Kid's been on, and then Animal Kid's like, oh, Angus has a podcast, so it's been mentioned to him twice, and he seems heaps not keen.
Yeah, I
I respect.
Yeah,
No,
I respect it. I respect it. Like it's one of those things like you've got to deal with. I respect people saying no instead of people like leaving you on scene.
Yeah.
Like if you're going after chicks, like when you're single, man, you'd rather
Shut
a
me
chick-
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shut me down. Like tell me to get fucked.
Don't give me hope.
And that's pretty much what the Swans do to us, and that's okay. And I'm gonna say it. I've said it
No,
many times.
Woodford called me yesterday, actually.
I love
He's got
how
a
he just
Swan-
calls you on
Yeah.
Facebook Messenger.
It's the best. No, it's
we
the
have
number.
this. Oh, he's got your number.
I didn't have the number saved. I was like, who's this? Should have known based on the voice on the other
Hayden
end.
is gonna get.
He was
Hayden on?
filthy. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Is that
I'll take
redlining a
back.
bit?
No, it's fine. You
It's
need
fine?
a redlining a bit on
Okay.
OBS. What about Tedesco? What's he snatching?
He's heaps fast. Yeah, he seems like he'd have some
So I
Uh,
remember last
90.
year you said, correct me if I'm wrong, he had a 100 kilo strict press that was
Yes.
pretty comfortable.
Yes.
Has he improved on that?
Nah, I
Or you
think
just were
because
like,
he
"That's
ended up
fine."
playing for the Kangaroos. He didn't start back until January. And the way I did it last year, which right or wrong, he jumped in at a stage where the rest of the crew, we were already push pressing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, based off the 100 kilo press, he actually had a lot more room to gain with his push press. So I didn't have the issue with him just jumping straight back into push press.
He's just a beast.
Does that stress you out? Like, obviously, you've had a heap successful year
2
with the
seasons.
Roosters. Yeah, all back to back.
Fucking 3. You've just had a great run. Like you've had. Does that worry you? Like
That's
things
not-
have been so
But one,
amazing.
let's talk about the building pressure
No,
later.
I'm so worried about like forward. It's like you just have delivered and delivered. The teams, everything's been great.
Yeah, there's only backwards from here. You should probably tap out. Now, what I was going to say, is it problematic having your squad carved up by representative footy?
Nah, it's a great thing. Like
I guess it's good, yeah.
they're getting rewarded for playing well. So that's mad.
And your good work. Like they go in, they press, and they lift, and they're the only ones that can complete the Olympic lifts.
I don't know. I don't know
your
what every
problem?
other team does.
Who does S&C for the Kangaroos? Did they just pick one of the guys who's doing it at club level? Or is there a guy who just suits up for like 2 months of the year?
Mate, I don't know.
Or do they just go in and hit some 21s in between games?
Yeah, I reckon it's that. And beers.
I don't know.
He says he doesn't know. He's just got no comment.
No, I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
So what is the plan now? Because obviously, again, you had two. Can't have better seasons than what the teams had. Like, are you still working on it, improving it, or you've
Fuck
got
yeah.
a structure now and it's just work? Because
Maybe
there wasn't
train
many
with the refs
injuries
so you don't have
either
any
for you
drums.
guys.
Oh, we had a pretty rocky road. This
like
year was
Jake Friend
Yeah.
was the big one, but not much you can do. Like, it's no one's fault.
Yeah, I think. Well, the bicep tear wasn't great, obviously, and the fact that he fractures so where they drilled the holes in that failed. So yeah, that one's. What can you do about that?
Yeah,
Fuck,
nothing.
I don't know. So yeah, it wasn't the best year for him, unfortunately. But yeah, we had mate, like this year was a completely different year to last year. We had blokes in and out on a weekly basis. We had at the time, barring Ryan Hall in round 1, I think we had probably at the time what our best team possibly could have been, barring him, we had available for round 1, and then we didn't have our best players available until grand final day.
Was in
That was the first, in terms of like, okay, who can we pick from? We didn't. It wasn't until grand final week that we had everyone to pick from.
Fuck, so it was a hard.
Literally 30. It took 30 weeks to have the whole squad available again.
So
So
it just goes. There's so many stars in the team.
Yeah, but we've got so many like good players that say didn't play the other night they're fucking good players and they'd be playing at every other team.
Yeah.
But it's a great problem to have, and you know I love it honestly.
Yeah.
Having those guys. Yeah.
Do you know Max Bailey? He played for Bears.
Yep.
So his brother is the one I was talking about that just will land tonight from.
Oh, right.
So Max is on that trip too.
Oh, cool.
So
He's done Kokoda.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
Hopefully
he's
mad.
hopefully made it back, ready for a big season.
Yeah, he's doing preseason with us.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yep.
he just signed from the Bears, I think.
Yep.
Like he apparently had a really good season.
Yeah, he
Max
did.
the Axe. Shout out through Butchers. Him
There
and
you go.
Matty Pryor.
How big's he these days? Is he a front rower?
Max is a
or-
unit. Yeah, he's front row.
He's a slight front rower.
I literally
he's
haven't
slight,
seen
but
Easy
he's
train.
still. See, we
since
know him
year
as like,
7.
he's younger
Yeah.
than us.
Oh,
like,
right.
A good few years younger than us. So we always knew him as like my mate's little brother.
Yep.
And I saw him at the gym. He was meeting the old South coach that works for the Chooks now,
Matty King.
Jason.
Oh, Jason Taylor.
Yeah, Jason Taylor.
Yeah, right.
Fuck, am I meant to be talking about this? Well, there, this is fine.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Anyway, I saw him meeting him and I was like, fuck, you're big. And he's like, still need to get bigger. I was like, Paddy,
Yeah.
saw you out.
Get him on Go Mad. Starting strength, Go Mad. A bit of that.
I don't even know what you're
Don't
talking
you know what
about.
that is? You're really not a gamer, hey, I guess.
No.
Nah, he's not. Didn't
Not
you
in
get
the
that?
You know who
slightest.
Mark Ripito is? Like hip drive.
Yeah, of course.
He invented Go Mad.
He's the GOAT.
Go Mad is gallon of milk a day.
Oh,
so it's for skinny,
of course.
skinny
Sorry.
high school football players.
Yes, no, I know
That's
what you're
that's
talking
how
about.
Angus put on weight, but then also lost.
Still not done yet. But yeah.
I was looking at photos of our family Christmas like yesterday, and you were looking so much bigger than you are now.
Yeah, Trin actually sent me that photo being like, you were so big. I was like, fuck that.
I remember years ago when I was younger, I was on the Cleopatra's milk. I would go through 2
How
litres of that.
tasty is it,
I'd
though?
I'd buy it on a Saturday, and it was gone by Saturday night.
Is
I was
that
going to say it's gone by Sunday night.
unpasteurized
but-
stuff?
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
one they.
One you bathe in?
Yeah.
No, they have to
that's
say,
what they
they're
yeah.
selling it for you to bathe in. So, but really, it's for drinking.
Mate, it was. I was smashing. And that's when it was like $10-12 for 2 litres.
It's because every now and then some 80-year-old with a shit immune system drinks it and dies. So they had to take it off
Jesus.
shelves.
It either kills
No, I
you
think
or
some
makes you
people feed it
stronger.
to. I
They
think
had
you should
cream
give
as
it
well.
to babies, I think, right? Which obviously
there
they
was
were
something
breast
like
milk.
years
but
ago in the news about someone gave it to baby.
There's
and
always
didn't-
some
didn't
hippie
turn
that
out well.
wants to feed their 6-month-old kid something crazy that's not ready for yet.
Yeah, that's heavy. Well, would you let your 6-month-old have beer Cleopatra's milk?
No.
Yeah, okay, but gotta wait for a certain age.
Pass
And
the test.
What way did you start? Like when you sort of left school, because you're always a rugby boy, right?
Yeah, I play footy. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're always solid.
Yeah. I don't know.
Angus and I'm always looking for tips on. I'm constantly trying to get heavier, and in the end, I'm just too lazy when it comes to eating enough.
No, I'm trying.
How
I
you
want to
with
be
dairy?
100.
You want to be 100?
I want to be 100. 100%.
How you getting there? Back on the Cleopatra's milk?
I don't know, but it's not fucking working. I'll tell you that. I've been 95 all year.
It's just
So you always want keep
mentally
abs.
draining because you get to a new weight and you're like, gotta eat more now. All right, like,
That's heavy.
That's the one thing I'm not doing right. I'm not eating.
oh, there
Yeah,
you
for
go.
sure. And you would have had such a busy few months. And were you partying hard after? Oh, you just had a kid, so you went.
Yeah, no.
You went up at the Leagues Club with the boys.
No, I actually didn't. No, we fucked up there, but no, we had it was a really good week. A really good week.
Yeah.
Better for them, I'm sure. But yeah, I had other stuff going on at home at the same time.
So that's what I mean. I feel like if you've got so many things I feel like in your life that are going well right now. Your lifting will go even better if your like one personal life goes to shit. But if Roosters have a rough season, then you'll really have to lead from the front, hit some PRs, right? That's how it works, isn't it?
I just can't see the
I
Roosters
don't know.
having a bad season next year. Like it's just
There would have to be the team bus would have to crash.
that's not going to happen.
Jeez.
Angus, you're getting so dark. You're really trying
Sorry,
to
boys.
derail Pat's
No, I'm
life.
not talking about how good it is.
So
That's
what-
how my brain works.
Yeah, true. I love seeing Trent around. And he's just like you can tell he's just so chuffed with himself. Or you reckon he wants more?
Oh fuck! Hell yeah!
Like,
we
so
all do.
What do you see? Like, does everyone want to go like be like St George in the was it the 80s where they won like was it 6 back
in
to
like
back?
the 50s or 60s or whatever.
Yeah, whenever. It
11
was.
back to back.
11.
11 in a row.
Oh, dude, my league knowledge is trash for people that listen to this. Is that the goal? I don't think that's possible these days, though.
Honestly, I think so. The case last year, what the season gone, I mean, and then I'm sure what the case will be this year. Like it's just another new, like it's a new year.
To just forget what you did last year.
You don't forget it, but you're not trying to like string them together type
Yeah.
thing. Like you're not saying like, oh, we're going to continue that moment. Like
Yeah.
it's starting again, and it's new and it's different, and it's it's the same challenge but in a new way. You know what I mean? So it's because That's why I'm saying, like, of course we want to fucking go again. Like,
It's a weird one from a fan's perspective because you look around the world in different leagues and then you've got your dominant teams like the Pats in the NFL or even Golden State in the NBA and like teams like Toronto. They won one last year and you just know they're not going, like even though they lost their best player, they're not going to win this year. But then you look at the Pats, they won last year and you're like, probably going to win this year. And you look at the Roosters in the league and that's just one of those teams like Roosters, Melbourne, maybe Bulldogs earlier in the 2000s.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about
No,
now.
definitely not. Angus and I are Bulldogs
They've
fans.
been going so bad, I just don't even watch.
What do you mean? They finished the season
They
really
finished
well.
the season so strong.
They blew the Broncos off the park.
Yeah. But then look what happened with them and Parramatta. And then Parramatta the week after that.
Yeah.
But so I don't think it's anything to be said. But I'm hopeful for the Bulldogs next year. Do you like follow any other league apart from what's happening?
Nah.
And then any other sports?
Nah.
Just league, just the Roosters.
Immersed in league. So if you couldn't
Yeah.
work for the Roosters, like, would you continue try to get into another sport with another team, or just be like, screw this, I'll do private sector, just go full Woodford?
I have.
Go down to Melbourne.
Shout out to Christian Woodford.
I have no idea. I don't really think about it, to be honest.
So you don't even, do you have goals where you sort of see yourself? Like, do you want to? Do you want to be coaching the Roosters soon? Like, should Trent
What?
be worried?
No.
Is that
No,
where
no.
this?
Yeah, go
career's
full
progressed?
James Smith model on him. Just be like, look, mate, you're the tactics coach.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you.
I don't think so.
Invert the model on him.
Nah. Like, I do out, like, my goal obviously at the moment is I was actually saying to someone the other day. All right, you hear people. I think Ron McKeefery.
No, I haven't.
He's an American dude. He's got a podcast, pretty good. He said he always says, I think it's him. He says, in his American accent, like, make the big time where you're at. And I feel like there'd be a lot of people out there thinking like, oh, fuck that, like, I don't want to be where I'm at, kind of thing. But like, I honestly, obviously, I do feel really lucky that I feel like, mate, I just want to make the fucking big time where I'm at right now in terms of. People talk about strength and conditioning being like a cog in the, small cog in the big wheel type thing. And me being the strength and power coach, I'm just part of that little cog. But honestly, I want it to be the, the best fucking part.
And
For the club, like in the comp, like, I just want to keep getting better at what I'm currently doing. Cause I still know, like, I've got a lot of areas like where I can improve. And that's my goal. I want to fucking keep getting better at what I'm already doing.
It's good to have because most people are trying to get into your position, and I guess they've had time to develop. And because you got into being quite a high up role quite young, what do you see? Where can you improve, in your opinion?
Me personally,
Yeah, and how are you going to go about it?
So I've been thinking about this, obviously, like, in sort of hindsight from the season gone. As a strength and power coach, the compound lifts, like the things you actually think about when you think strength and power, I feel like I've got that down pat.
Yeah, inside
There's a bit of individualization around with our squad. Like, we've been pretty consistent over the last year or two, and will be again going into the next season. So there's some things I want to explore a little deeper with individuals there, but it's more around. If you think like the sort of foundational type stuff that allows you to be good at the big compound lifts. So areas like I really made a big effort on knees this year. I feel like we made a lot of good inroads into getting guys that have chronic knee problems, making them feel really good. Like one of the things we do every week is we do counter movement jumps on our power day. And I actually
On that nice plate, I got to come and use that.
The jump mat. Yeah.
Really be how humbled by seeing numbers of what you can actually jump.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny one. It's like it's just based on time of flight, right? So it's obviously going to shoot out different than if you do the what's the fucking thing where you
vertical leap.
Yeah. When you tap the things. But anyway, so 12 months ago I did my I made my end of year report, and we had like a dozen blokes out of a squad of 30 that just consistently do not jump. And they're all playing NRL as well. So I wanted to change. And one of the ways, one of the common things, there was a lot of them have sort of chronic knee issues. Whereas I did my report at the end of the year just gone, and there was 2 guys out of a squad of 30 that didn't jump. So
that's
it's
nice.
and like those 10 other guys, I'm not saying they jump 30 weeks out of 30 weeks, but they were jumping. They might have only had half a dozen jumps, some of them in the whole year, but it's improvement. It's better than last year. So that's one area I want to improve, and obviously I need to start on. I want to do the same. I want to be able to have the same effect on shoulders moving forward as well. So knees and shoulders are the two areas I really want to. When you think like remedial type work, but having that sort of performance mindset to it, as opposed to
just getting it healthy.
Yeah, like remedial work.
Yeah.
Like I want it to have a performance mindset to it. So yeah.
What's the heaviest, highest vert you've ever seen out of a front rower?
Out of a front rower, Lindsay Collins.
Yeah.
He's 110 kilos, and I think he jumped a 36 point.
Holy shit!
A high 36 on the jump mat. He is.
I reckon that's like a
beast.
39-inch standing, depending on how long his arms are.
Yeah, he's got long arms. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
fuck,
tall.
He might be getting 40.
110 kilos jumping. I've got to work out what that, what the wattage then is like for his power. But yeah,
That's
man,
crazy.
he's a beast.
That's
And that
it,
like
yeah,
he played a lot of games this year where his job was come off the bench for sometimes 10, 15 minutes and just be that power surge, and that's fucking him. Like,
That's him.
That is him.
Just 15 minutes of power.
Fucking oath. Yep.
One hit up every set of 6. CNS just enough time to recover. he just runs to the side
Nah, he
for
was
defense.
It might only be 10, 15 minutes, but when he come off, he was fucked.
He was
Back
really-
on the bench, someone just spading creatine into his mouth.
Yeah.
Just recharge.
Nah, he was awesome. Like, yeah, he got a lot of work done in a very short period of time for us. Yeah, changed the game.
The gym looks sweet up there, and I do see like the power mat and the whole setup. Did you have much say in designing that?
Yeah, I
That was all
think
you?
I had all the say.
So what for you? Will you sort of give it a somewhat unlimited budget? It's like, look, whatever you think we need.
Oh no, no.
And they
It
don't just
was
give him the
very
Roosters
limited.
Amex, be like, go out to
No,
Iron Edge
no.
and have
It
fun.
was very limited. I pretty much got told what the dimensions of the gym would be, and then we obviously had a lot of existing equipment which I was going to bring over, and then we did have within the budget during the off season to we had the opportunity to sort of upgrade some stuff. So we worked out a deal with AlphaFit actually, where we were able to. I almost was able to sort of transform the gym so everything's almost AlphaFit, which is great. Like I like that sort of uniformity. Is that a word?
Yeah, no, something about having one
No,
brand.
Yeah, one brand.
It's like you got
exactly.
the Adidas socks, you got the Adidas shoes.
Exactly.
It's
I can't.
nice.
Oh,
It looks
fuck!
nice.
You wouldn't see me wearing
Mate, you're
a
the
different
same.
brand socks with Adidas
I'm the
shoes.
same. You can't Nike and Nike.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet
Nike
Angus
and
has
shit
some
socks.
fucking Kmart.
Nah, it doesn't count. If you got Source socks, then it's like they've got to be matching.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I guess
100%.
Stance is a brand that you allow
Yeah,
anyone to wear.
yeah.
I'm a bit
Yeah,
off
so-
them though lately.
I bought my
feel like
first.
it's
I'm
got-
late, super late to the party. I bought my first pair with these actually.
I've never
last
bought a
week.
pair, so there you go.
There you go. What did you buy?
Just black.
Oh, why not just buy?
I like it.
I don't
no,
like
I
that
like
whole
it.
edgy
I like
sock
it.
thing. Like, I feel like it's people trying to compensate for shit personalities. I know you're a real sock guy, so
Look, I got given heaps as gifts. All right.
sure you do.
They were gifts. Yeah, so what did you, going back to my original question, what's in the gym? What did you feel like? Obviously, squat racks, necessary, barbells, bumpers, dumbbells,
Yes.
anything like
Have
the
you got the
got
jammers in
What
there?
is there some secret
Yeah, we
They're
got,
pretty
the
cool.
jammer attachments. We
Yeah.
use them a bit on our power day.
Do you have are they Sorinex? That's a
No, no,
brand
no,
that's
no,
kicked off in the
Alpha
States.
Fit, you
Oh,
dog.
Alpha Fit. Okay, sorry. I didn't
What's
realize
Sorinex?
I didn't realize they were so well catered.
Yeah,
They
nah,
got it all. Fuck, you think
that's
they
one of
can't?
the that's the beauty of being with AlphaFit. They're just
They got everything.
they got everything, and they're actually because they're Australian based and Australian made. Like we had custom made stuff. Like I had ideas, say I wanted bench pull benches,
Yeah.
but I didn't like any of the bench pull benches that are on the market. They're all big and bulky and fucking look like shit. So I had some the most simple looking bench, like high. It's just a high
and
bench.
they whipped them up for you.
Fucking oath, yeah.
Because there'd be some long arms in that team.
Yeah, well, yeah. They're a standard height. They're,
Yeah.
I think,
Imagine trying to get Marty
Whatever height
Tapau to
they
do a seal row. I know he's not on your squad, but that guy has
No, I
long
reckon he has
arms.
short arms.
who?
Marty Tapau.
Tapau?
Oh, right. Yeah, fuck, I don't know.
His
Don't
hands go down to his knees.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was my biggest takeaway from your first episode together. I was like, fuck, Paddy loves horizontal pulling.
Yeah, well, you
I think
you
there was a
posted
20
again this year.
there was a 20-minute segment on seal rows.
They're great exercise.
I love them too, yeah.
Dude, that was the only
That's only
thing
because I was off him. I was off him, and then I remember I told you it just clicked. I was like, I'm just gonna bring him back. A few of the boys were at me about bringing him back, so I bought him back. And
Well, were you talking about
they
the
stuck.
ratio? Or was that on
Yeah.
Instagram since that interview? Or was that at that time?
I don't know, 1-to-1, but 1-to-1.
Current position
1-to-1.
statement on seal rows, still into it?
For the team, yes. For
Yeah.
myself, nah.
What's your new thing that you really picked up with yourself this year in training? Like, you really, it was a forgotten thing, or you're like, oh, I'm really into this at the
You know
moment?
what I really got into late this season was people talk about like velocity-based training. But over the part, I've been doing this job for 3 years now, and in all 3 years, with about 6 weeks to go, I sort of transitioned the squad from full range squatting to box squatting. But this year, the box squatting, even when we were going heavy, I had the push bands on and we were always working at a minimum velocity. So rather than, it's just because I remember like when I first started, mate, I remember I had a reserve grade player put on mate, he could have box squatted 300 kilos just during the week, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with games and everything. But like the way he was doing it, I was like, it's just, there's a point where you just think like, all right, this is just getting stupid.
It's just like, what's the point?
Because it is partial range, so it's partial range. Obviously that allows intensity to go up. But the box squat is the type of movement, like when you do it, like of course you can go heavy, but you want it to be fucking explosive. And so even like, for him, he could have had 300 kilos on there, right? And it still would have fucking moved well. And I've seen videos of heaps of like footy guys doing like stupid looking box squats, especially when they do that tap and go shit. I just feel like, sweet, there goes a vertebrae, there goes a vertebrae. Mad.
Really try to drill your ass into that box.
Oh yeah.
So how do you decide what is good velocity for? Is it like standard across the team, what you want them to hit? And then how do you decide on that number?
Well, it's kind of like, so if you think about it, even if you're doing, say you're just doing normal back squats, right? And you hit a 1RM, everyone's going to be different, right? But your 1RM back squat or bench press or anything is going to be at a certain velocity anyway. So I'm just capping that. I'm just saying, like, instead of maxing out the load, we're going to go as heavy as we can, but there's a limit on the minimum velocity that you're allowed to hit.
That's cool.
So we did box squats, and say we were doing singles. I think our last, I think it was before we versed Souths for the in the final here at the Grandia, and we hit singles on the box squat that week, but they were at a minimum of they all had to be over 0.5 meters a second, which is, say, I'm just going to throw it out there, it might be 80% of what your normal one is, right? But when the push band's on there, you are like, it's help driving that intent. So it's all about intent.
Because it immediately comes up on the board in front of them, right? Yeah, that'd
so
be
you set
cool.
up the iPads and in front of them, and it's just there straight away.
I imagine as well, like, obviously you were just talking about a session where you did singles, but I imagine that that's really handy when you're doing a set of 5 or something, just to get that effort in those last few reps.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
'cause it's going to let you know when you're dropping off.
Yeah, and then like, so the velocity stuff, it's being correlated to RPE. So when people talk about like, do a set of 5 or whatever at an RPE of 8 or whatever, you can correlate the velocity or the minimum velocity that you want to stay at above. You can correlate that to whatever RPE you want to keep that above. So yeah.
But then you get some goobers, they rack a squat, their nose is bleeding, and they're like, that was about an 8.
So I wonder when that system is going to be like affordable for everyone to be able to have it in the gym and monitor your own training.
iPhone
Have your
12
phone.
will be
It
able to
is,
do
like-
How much does it cost?
Push bands are a couple $100, like
Oh, really?
a couple hundred.
And they will get into your phone?
yeah, I've got the app on my phone. Yeah.
Fuck, look, when they get to maybe 200, I'll pick them up. I feel like that's when I'll be like, I can get this. Or are they 200 now?
I don't know.
You just spent close to a G on shoes, and now you're like, I don't know if I want to shell out that on push bands.
It's because I don't want to be humiliated by my own numbers.
But honestly, we use those push bands every week, sometimes twice a week,
Yeah.
depending on the turnaround.
Dude, I'd be that guy. You'd walk past the gym one day and just see me outside curling dumbbells with the mods. You
Have you ever
I
thrown
wouldn't be
them on
doing that.
anything, and then you're like, this was a mistake?
Yeah.
In retrospect.
Kettlebell swings.
Nah. Well, we obviously we've got gym awares as well, which I used to use a lot. But since having the push bands, they're just so much more user friendly. We actually, a couple of our push bands broke like at the start of finals, like worst timing. So I had to dust off the old gym awares. We put them on, I think I had a sesh with the reserve grade boys, and obviously I wanted to measure velocity for them as well. So I had the gym awares on there. We're doing power cleans, and one of the boys thought he was doing the right thing by making sure he's dropping the bar out in front of where the gym aware set up on the floor.
No.
And he ended up throwing it out too far in front that it like rolled out a couple of meters, and the cords wrapped itself around the bar. And so within 10 minutes of the first sesh. Oh, fuck, there goes another gym aware. All right, so now I'm down to 1 push band and 1 gym aware. Oh, I was in
was
all
not
sorts.
good.
I was stressing.
That was the stressful
because then I
moment
had
for
the
ACC.
NRL boys were supposed to start like half an hour later. I'm thinking, fuck.
You just had to pretend. Just have the pad and be like, yep, good. Faster.
We worked out. We got our way through it.
And then do you guys have like, are you ever measuring sort of 30-meter sprint flyers? Or for sprints, what are you using to time, or are you just using clocks?
Because the boys wear the GPS for every session, we're looking at
and they're
max
that
velocity.
accurate for sprints as
Well,
well.
we're looking at max velocity. We're not
Okay.
looking so much at a 10-meter time or a 20-meter time. We're just looking at max velocity.
Yeah. So if they're just doing a straight speed session, they'll just do the reps, or is it constantly updating and you've got
Yeah,
the
you get live
technology?
feedback. So on the days, obviously in preseason where we are actually allowing them to potentially hit a max velocity, they'll do it and then they'll walk over during their recovery, walk past the sports scientist who's got the laptop out there. What I hit, you hit, 8.5, 9.5, whatever it is. All right, mad, sweet, go again, try beat it.
And it'll tell you how long they like can sustain that velocity, or are you just looking for peak velocity?
It's
You're
just
not
your
looking-
peak velocity. Obviously, so then when you generate reports and all that, you can. There's speed zones, so you know how much distance you hit in.
Okay.
Yep.
So
In
you can
speed
figure it out.
distance,
Yeah.
high speed.
Is anyone cracking 10 meters per second?
Yeah, we had
Tedesco.
hit 10.2 last year in the State of
Ooh,
Origin game.
that's nice.
Latrell hit 10 this year. He's on the record board for this year. So even though Teddy hit 10.2 last year, but I rubbed him out at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and
reset.
So yeah.
Any word on what Addo Carr's hitting? Because we sort of get it from the media, but you never know if you can trust what they're saying.
I remember, I think in Origin, they actually did do like this live sort of GPS thing where they're like, oh, so-and-so's
They love a
covered.
stat in
He's
Origin.
covered 2.5 kilometers.
He's
and-
faster than Bolt.
Yeah. He would be, I think he
Surely
would have
high
hit.
10.
They did their speeds in kilometers per hour, I remember. So he was still,
Oh.
I think he might have been like a high 36 or at best low 37s,
Fuck, that's good.
which is obviously like, that's still
Yeah.
what, 10 and a half.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Depending how long he can hold it.
Yeah. And so, man, I'm just guessing. He might be better. I don't know.
I just can't believe the NRL Integrity Unit hasn't cottoned on to the GPS strategy for policing Mad Monday and things like that.
Just put him in there.
Yeah.
Put him in their undies for the
Mate,
day.
that could prevent some
No, I
scandals.
thought they could get Folau in as head of integrity to look over things.
Thanks, guy. He's busy.
He's busy. He's busy trying to sign a league contract, from what I hear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look, get him back in. Does fuck.
Man, I hit him. I sent him a message on Instagram ages ago. I said, hey, because he put up some videos of himself training. I hope he listens to this. He put up some videos of him doing like some.
Hey, if he's listening to this, I'm in trouble.
He put up some one arm rows. I was like, hey brother, if you
Reach out.
if you want to train, hit me up.
Yeah.
But
And he-
no
no
good.
response.
still waiting for it to say
He goes,
show that
"Look."
he's seen it.
Yeah. He goes, no, well, he got kicked off IG, didn't he? Or is he back?
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah, because remember he had the post and he just ripped down his whole Instagram.
Oh, did he?
'Cause
Oh, maybe
had
that's
the
why.
Initial post.
Was
that
that a
sort of-
fake account
damn it.
posting single arm rows?
You just
Like,
inbox some
can you
random
imagine?
super
Definitely
fan.
him.
Can you imagine Izzy on Mad Monday?
And some of the boys like, Izzy, can we go to the strip club?
Izzy
He's
does
like,
Mad
no.
Sunday. He does 2 a day at the church. He rocks up for the AM service.
No
then
comment.
He comes back
Yeah,
after
yeah,
that
yeah.
and then goes into the PM.
We got it. We
Hey,
got
come on, that's tasteful and
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. No, that's tasteful. That's tasteful. Which is good for us. Which is
Yeah.
very highbrow for us.
Yeah.
All right. No only thing. What else I had on my agenda to talk
Fuck,
about?
this isn't just the Oscar show. I've got
Yeah, yeah,
questions
sorry,
I want
you
to
go,
ask.
you
as
go,
well.
you go.
No, this is my first time.
Actually, you
Paddy
know what? I
Lane on the
forgot.
show.
I never answered your first question properly.
What's
about
that?
the hang power clean. And remember how you were talking about putting clips on?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
and
I
the
had
weighted
half a dozen
clips.
hit
Yeah,
130 on
yeah.
the hang power clean in Queenstown, and we came back the week after, and I put it on Instagram. It was probably like one of 5 posts I put up all year, and I did a hang power clean with 130 with clips,
So
and I
you
made a
beat the
point to all the
boys.
boys. I was like,
Yeah,
I
nice.
fucking did it with clips.
Still got it, boys. Still got it. And you're still coming into your prime for strength.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Well, you're 20. Your Angus is at 27.
27.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
What am I
mate,
done with
you
my
got
life?
a few years. Yeah, it's fucking heavy.
Still
eh?
at FF.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's a scene. It's a real scene.
Any positions for Angus at the Chooks?
Not at the moment.
Damn.
What I wanted to talk about is actually it's interesting because I think a lot of people they don't have the confidence to teach the Olympic lifts in a team context. A lot of people save that for working with individual athletes where they can pay more attention to them.
Yeah, I
That's obviously
suppose.
saying you've got good at teaching. But are there any sort of strategies that are really popular in terms of training modalities right now where you've tried to apply that in a team context and you're like, that's not really the best fit? Or is that something you pride yourself on bringing these things into a team context?
You mean like Olympic lifting?
Olympic lifting, yeah, things of that nature.
I've never seen an issue coaching Olympic lifting with team sport athletes.
So it's
In
just
big
shit
group
coaching.
settings. Yeah, stop being
I guess
fucking
if you got
pussies.
some real low-level athletes, but yeah, once they're at a
That's the thing,
professional
you're
level.
dealing with professional athletes. Like if you were trying to teach these guys to shoot a free throw in basketball, they're picking it up.
But
like
yeah,
that.
that's exactly my point. We're dealing with professional athletes. They're
Yeah.
generally the same guys that when they were younger, they were always the best or very good at everything anyway. They fucking pick it up that easy.
Yeah.
See, because I feel like that's a pretty hot take, because a lot of other people I've heard out of their mouth like, no, they'll never be able to do a good job of it. But then I guess in retrospect, it's just comes down to coaching ability.
Yeah, correct.
It comes down to philosophy and coaching ability and
And I think a lot of
Yeah.
coaches, they might be a bit nervous and scared. They're like, they just think what could go wrong and not what could go right.
Or maybe they just don't lift themselves. Thoughts on coaches
And
that
that's
don't
where
lift?
Pate comes along.
Stop
swinging
being
his big-
fucking pussies.
His big S&C dong and he goes, fucking, we're snatching today, boys. And it's like 2 days out from the GF and someone's like, I've never snatched before. He's like, we're going to learn.
but that's lifting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you're in the gym, like you're in the gym to lift.
Yeah.
And we play like, I work in a collision sport. Like we want to fucking go out there and dominate.
Not playing
every
touch
week.
butt in the park, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's like I don't know. That's your job is to fucking create beasts.
Yeah,
How else are you
create-
going to create fucking beasts?
Med ball throws, according to a lot of people.
They have their place, but
Yeah, true.
no.
On your recovery day.
No.
Bit of med ball throw.
No,
I'm
we
heavy on-
like, but that's like we'll lift and then we'll walk outside and we'll throw the med balls. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just can't see how you're doing your athletes any good by not doing
giving
that
them
type of
skill.
stuff.
Yeah. I'd be curious if like players left and went to a gym and they were missing out on the Olympic lifts and actually like really themselves being like, I actually really miss doing this because they went to a coach that didn't love it.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to
Trap
athletes that
bar
have,
jumping is not fun.
Sorry?
Doing trap bar jumps is not nearly as
No,
exciting.
no,
trap,
definitely
like,
not.
so
Great
I've
exercise.
experimented it with myself. Like I'll be honest, I've never done it with my guys. But I did a bit with it myself, just play around, especially like again using the push bands.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
That's the thing. But like, so when I see them doing it and they're just jumping up and down 4 or 5 times, whatever it says on the piece of paper, like how boring is that? But then like, all of a sudden you add things like the push band, and then it's like in the same way that the goal is obviously to catch the clean and to make the rep every time. When you've got the push band on the bar, on the trap bar or whatever, and you know like I've got to hit over 2 meters a second every rep here. There's a very specific goal there every rep, rather than just I'm going to jump up and down and I'm going to do it 4 or 5 times and then I'll go do whatever's fucking next. So yeah, but I like, and then back to your other point as well. Like I've spoken to guys that have been through the Roosters and have moved on to other clubs. Sorry, and
Oh,
they've they've hit me up about how like whatever they're doing at their new club, it's obviously it's good, but they're like, I have to do my own power cleans, and I'm trying to get some of the other boys in to do it with me, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah. Just missing out.
I don't know.
Missing out on the meat and veg.
I should disclaimer, that's my own personal.
yeah, which I fucking...
Yeah,
Look,
I don't want to say if you're not doing it, you're wrong. That's my own personal
Yeah.
thing.
Snatch or die.
See, I even
Power
like
in
if I've
2019.
got clients that are capable and willing, I'm like, hell yeah, we'll teach the power clean. I think it's one of the greatest lifts in the gym. It's what I enjoy the most out of training. Like my 2 favorite exercises, power cleans, chin ups.
Well, and that's another...
Chin up.
Yeah, I love chin ups.
It's 'cause
Overhand
he's
chin
good
ups.
at 'em.
Yeah, right. Okay.
What's your max over? I'm going to ask because you'd be better
70
than me.
kilos underhand.
Sucked,
What about
yeah.
overhand?
60.
Fuck. Mate, you're the big dog around town.
At
no
a high
question
body weight
about
as
it.
well, so sucked in.
Yeah, no, but that's good. I got long arms, Angus. Leave me alone.
I haven't done chin ups for a while because I started getting like I don't know what it is, bicep. Like so I was having shoulder pain. I can't remember which one it was now. It was one or the other, and I think it was because my subscap internal rotator.
Yeah.
I think that was just because I was pressing and then I was doing chins.
You do
and-
put yourself through the ringer.
And really, if you're really forcing out those heavy reps.
yeah, 100%. And I was obviously like, chin's got to be over, otherwise it doesn't count. So I'm really like, I'm obviously
You're doing whatever
definitely
it takes
going
to get up
into
there.
a lot of internal rotation on
Yeah.
top just to get there. And then I've brushed them completely and I'm just pressing, and then I'm obviously still doing rows and face pulls and shit like that. But I'm just focusing. My own training is a lot more on all the extensor lifts rather than worried about push and pull.
Mm.
And you know what? My shoulders feel really good.
Fuck, there you go. So
Yeah.
weighted chins.
Fuck
Could
them
be-
off.
could be okay, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've never really much. I suppose I've always done so many chin-ups, like back in the swimming days, but I've
Of
never
course.
lifted that such heavy weight.
I think my
I'm very
rotator cuffs are
confident.
actually stronger than my lats, so I just use that, and then I just get a banged up shoulder after like 3 reps.
Wait, should we get Paddy involved, even though he'd flog us in the old weightlifting pentathlon? It's something we haven't
This is
spoken
right
about on the
up
show.
your alley.
Okay,
What is it?
so I follow this Norwegian sprinter, and I'm going to get his name right so I can give him a shout out because he did reach out to us and tell us the.
This is an event
correct
that me and Oscar wished that it existed.
Yeah. Okay.
It turns
So
out it does.
shout out to Matthias Hove Johansson. He's 21.
Matthias, I reckon.
Matthias. Yeah. He's from Norway. He has a 10:46 and a 21 flat 200, and he also has like a 115 snatch and a 145 clean and jerk.
Nice.
So there's a thing in Norway called a weightlifting pentathlon, which involves a weightlifting style competition.
Yep.
So snatch and clean and jerk, you get 3 attempts at both. A 3-step broad jump. Oh, sorry. It involves this sprint as well, which is 40 meters.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
off
so
the-
it's
off the
40
deck?
meters we got to get off the deck.
Got to get off the
I've
deck.
got ya.
3 leap broad jump. So for meters, 1, bang.
Yeah, triple jump.
Yeah,
Yeah, mad.
don't have to land.
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
this, which is called a Lyakov. So off a
Yeah,
shot
it's
put
just
platform.
a keg toss.
Yeah, but with a standardized shot.
Yeah,
Male
mad.
shot put.
What are
And
we going to
he-
use?
That's Werner
we'll
Gunther
get
shit
shot
there.
Buy a
Yeah,
shot.
yeah, that is Werner Gunther shit there. So it's a Sinclair for the weightlifting total, and
Right.
there's a point system as well. So he sent through. He actually converted it from Norwegian into English for us, and I'm going to read out the rules. Like we'll get into it more on our monthly wrap up because it's quite interesting. And this is something I think you'd be quite good at.
That's really cool
No,
stuff.
see, I see what's going on here. This was just going to be a competition between me and Oscar. Oscar's realised now that he has no chance at beating me. So
I'm
he's
fucking
just trying
gonna
to bring
beat
in
you.
someone else into the competition.
No.
To stop me
Alright,
from winning.
I'm saying in the end, the competition is between me and you.
Alright,
There's no
sweet.
doubt about it.
You,
But
and
this
you
is
versus the Roosters, me versus Oscar. You stay,
Oh,
okay.
fucking lose
Stay in your
that.
lane.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So the triple broad jump. This is the scoring system. So it scores like a decathlon. So triple broad jump, 0.2 points per centimeter. So 6 meters, 600 centimeters equals 122 points.
Yep.
For the Lyakov, it's so
That's the shot.
how many centimeters you throw it times 10 divided by body weight equals how many points you get. So, for example, 1.2 meters, centimeters times 10 divided by 70 is 171.43 points. The 40-meter sprint, 8 seconds equals 80 points. So add 4 points for every 1 second of attempts faster and minus 4 points for every 1/10 of a second slower.
Surely no one's going over 8 seconds on that.
Yeah, surely. So everyone should be, yeah, maybe Angus. So you start face flat and the time was stopped from your first body part crossing the line. So it's not
Yeah,
your
cool.
trunk like
Mate,
sprinting.
I was doing my fucking
And then
pogos yesterday.
clean and
My
jerk.
entry-level plyometrics. I chatted to one of the boys at work. I was like, where do I start with plyos? I've got to get
and they were
explosive.
like, don't do it. Just take it as an L. So yeah, and you get 2 attempts at the 40, 3 attempts at the triple broad, and 3 attempts at the shot throw as well.
Yeah, cool.
And you can stand on a ledge. What do you reckon?
That's pretty cool.
Are you scoring over 1,000?
Oh, fuck. I didn't really listen
He
to the
scored
point scoring thing.
990.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Nah,
figure
probably
out.
not.
I did rough. I went rough on mine. I reckon I could get like 680.
I'm coming for that.
And then I
700
did yours, and I was like, oh, it's going to come down to that throw. Because I'm going to destroy you in the jumps and sprint.
See, I don't know if you
And
will
you'll
in the
destroy
sprint
me in the
because
way.
I think off the mark, I think I got you.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
my
going to
thing.
keep my knee low to
Angus.
the ground.
Have you not?
That's it.
My starts.
Yeah,
my-
is that it? That's some good shit.
Yeah, but it's a technique.
The knee low to the ground is the technique.
Piston-like action.
That's all there is.
Fuck.
I know as well. Backside mechanics. That's the
Damn it,
focus.
if that lady wasn't, if it was anyone else on security, I'd say, can you let us on there so Angus could do a quick demonstration of how he's going to do a sprint start and keep his knee low to the ground because you'll be fucking straight on your face.
I'll have a crack.
Please video that first attempt and put it on IG.
So knee low to the ground is a risky strategy.
You follow us both on Instagram. Who do you reckon will win based on what you just heard?
Well, I'm obviously thinking
Yeah,
Angus
set
has
me
got
up.
you on the lifts.
100%.
And then
by
I'll
a
obviously
bit. By
expect
a bit.
by a bit.
By a
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's the most you've ever jerked? You know you have to put it above your head.
95. I know. 95. I know. And I can power
So
snatch.
you've got to be making
83
up
is my
a
best.
45 kilo deficit if
Yeah,
I'm
but
in shape.
Angus, it's 4 points for 0.1 of a second. Fuck. Do that maths.
I can
Okay?
hang.
And I'll just lose weight. And I'll bomb the lift, so I don't give a fuck. So I'll just get light as hell.
Alright, fair enough.
What do you reckon? Who's your money on? I reckon it's like $1.80, $1.80.
And if you
to
get
be
this
honest.
wrong, this affects your guest of the year.
Potential. I don't know. But
on.
you're probably right. It would be it would come down to the med ball.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What is it? The shot. The shot.
Leakov, yeah, the shot. So a standard shot, I think, is 4 point something.
Yeah,
I'm
something like that,
guessing.
yeah.
Which
What are
is
you
not
weighing at the
super
moment?
Heavy. I'm like literally stuck at 83, 84. That's me. What about you?
I'm towing my way into 83. But I
Yeah,
could
so
get under
let's
80. I could
try
get
and
under
land-
80.
Let's
in
try
2
and land
days'
the same
notice.
weight. Land the
Mate,
same
after
weight.
this weekend, I'll be under 80.
Yeah. Anyway, is that something you might chuck into preseason minus the jerk? That could be pretty fun, low impact.
You know what?
for the
Actually,
boys.
I've
not a triple broad.
seen videos of the Auckland Blues rugby team. They did a weightlifting comp like in preseason.
That's
it was
cool.
mad.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
like you can YouTube it. It's sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Definitely watch
Is
that.
there some
and they
interesting
actually had
techers?
they had like the head coach. Sorry, they had what's her name? She's a Kiwi weightlifter, Olympic weightlifter. Valerie.
Oh, she's the shot putter, Valerie Adams.
Is that her?
Stephen Adams' sister plays in the NBA. If it's Valerie, she's a shot putter.
She can probably power clean a shit ton.
Yeah,
oh
she
shit! I
could.
hope I'm not wrong now.
She
I don't
was
know
like
why I'm thinking
6
her
months
then.
pregnant at the Com
Yeah.
Games and still got second.
Anyway, it was an Olympic. I thought it was an Olympic weightlifter, but I don't know.
Nah,
Why I
it
thought
would
of
be
her then.
Valerie
Anyway,
Adams if it was
she was
Olympic.
one of the judges, and I think it was Tano Umaga, or was he coach at that time? He was one of the judges, I should say, and someone else was the judge, and they're all doing their snatch attempts, and they're warming up for their clean and jerk attempts, or I don't know. Actually, I don't know if they did clean and jerk. They might have just done like power snatch, power clean.
That's
but whatever.
awesome, though. That's
in any
awesome.
case, and they're all rocking their their Addy powers,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
walking up the bar, and everyone's watching one guy lift at a time, and the judges said it looks mad.
And do you know who won?
No,
Sonny?
I can't remember. I can't
Sonny
remember.
playing for him.
I
So
know.
he's not really good build for it.
Nah, he's
Really?
still a beast though.
Yeah, they got the front rower Offa. I can't pronounce his surname.
Yeah,
He's a weapon. Like you look at his lifts, and he's like, I forget what he's. Oh, I have to look it up. His squat, it was something like stupid, like because Sonny put up a thing saying like, oh, if you guess what his squat is, I'll give you a free T-shirt or whatever. And I was like, oh, whatever, 2 something,
Yeah.
and I was way off.
It was threes in the threes.
Honestly, I want to say 310 for some reason, but
That's solid.
I might be wrong. I'll look it up quickly.
Imagine him going against you in the scrum. The scrum would be this one side.
I said 240, and it's 290, so I was way off.
Fuck.
That's solid. Sonny Bill put that up.
Not
Did
the
you say?
lift. No, it was
Just
like
the art question.
yeah.
Fuck, that's
Well,
solid.
who's the strongest league or union player ever, like gym-wise?
Wasn't Matt Orford? Didn't he have like a 160 something bench? The halfback or was he 5'8" for Manly back in like the early 2000s?
Fuck, they loved a big bench back in the day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Someone from
solid,
Manly,
man.
actually, something that rings a bell.
Or
Someone
Marty
from Manly.
Now maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone
Oh.
from Manly had and it wasn't who you'd it was like a little bloke.
It was the
Yeah.
half.
I reckon it was Matt Orford.
Was
I,
it
reckon,
Matt
I
Orford?
think someone remember. This is vague.
But that was
memory.
again
He was like
in the
seven-
Sunday Telegraph.
He was 79 kilos and the bench was like 160, which he could.
Actually, I'm
could
thinking. I
believe.
remember hearing an old halfback for the Wallabies. I don't know if it was George Gregan or anything, but like a
It's
halfback
out.
for the Wallabies had like a massive bench. Like I'm talking like massive. Like
I'm trying to think who would. It
George
wouldn't have been
Gregan did
Gregan.
like 9 wheat bix. I don't think he's putting up a big bench.
It wouldn't have
That's
been.
that's if the stats in the ad are correct.
yeah, there you go. I don't know, but yeah, no, I've heard of some real strong like halfbacks in both codes having big bench presses. I'm biased, but Ryan Hall's pretty fucking strong in the gym.
What position did he play?
Wing,
He's just a beast.
he's a beast. Yeah, like 110 kilos on the wing. That's scary shit.
Fuck, and I was a
that.
winger.
Oh man, same. Because like we
Those
played
guys
junior
weren't
footy.
wingers back in the day.
That's what I
though.
mean. They would have been playing
Like
in key
fullback,
positions.
yeah.
Whereas wingers where you
Front
stick
row.
the paste eaters.
Yeah,
when you're young.
back in the day.
Like,
That's
I was
like, yeah.
small, slow, and couldn't catch a ball, so I played on the wing. It was a rough time.
I just remember I only
Keep
ever
him out
wanted
Because
to
there.
play
every now and then I'd
Yeah.
run into an athletic winger and I'd be like, what's this? Because usually it's winger on winger crime. Like it's the other unathletic kid. So it's like you actually got a shot at doing something, but then every now and then they'd see a weakness in the Thurul Butcher's defense and they'd throw like a prop on the wing because they just knew I couldn't
no.
deal with it. It was rough. One time the guy just like went like at me. I jumped over the sideline myself. We were playing
Just
molly.
at, at Dad's feet.
Oh, it was heavy. And I remember Dad was driving me home. He's like, son, you just got to have a go sometimes. And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm trying.
I'd actually like to go. I think I could do better, much better now than when we were
as
as
an
a kid.
adult playing against children.
Yeah, no, playing against like not NRL, but like a bit of park footy with the boys. Like Butchers Resis, I do better now than I would when I was actually playing.
Reserve grade. Playing against adults.
Yeah.
No, you
Just
get
on the wing.
minced.
I'm faster.
Not hard.
Oh, not hard at all. But I'm
Not
saying I'd
hard.
still do better.
You got injured running track.
What? You don't reckon you'd play
Yeah,
better now based on
you
how
ran
trash
one
we were?
one season of track, 2 surgeries, retirement.
One surgery.
In the one season.
One surgery, which I needed.
Did you?
Or did
we
you
just need
just
a bit
need
of
to
Dave
Paddy
Sorry,
in
Pat.
last? Anyway,
All good.
You like this with your brother? What's
No.
your relationship like?
Not like this.
he's just like, oh, you're so good, so good. Good work, mate. Good lift, good lift. You did well at the Roosters this year, Paddy.
He's got you covered in weightlifting.
Yeah,
He's got
fuck.
you.
Yeah.
What are
heaps.
you better than him at?
Oh,
He can't bench 3 wheels, can he? I hope
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
talking shit.
I don't
He's
think
pretty
so.
strong
I
upper
don't think
body.
so.
Fuck, Angus, I'm going to pull on a fucking jersey for Resi's next year. You pump me up.
All right.
No, I'm just
Let's
kidding.
see. Go play in the eastern suburb. Like
Nah,
in
get
the,
destroyed.
you need to play for like Vaucluse or something. I feel like they'd have a great mix in the team
No,
for
sorry, I
you.
went back to that. What are you better than your brother at?
What a question. What a question.
Is he older or younger?
Younger.
How much younger?
16 months.
Oh, so similar to us.
Wait, who's older here?
Me.
You're older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he's like squats and all that are the same as mine, I think.
Yeah.
It's just his Olympic lifts are, you know,
Way better.
there's an extra plate either side.
Yeah, he cleans
There you
180,
go.
front squats 170 somehow. It's like, huh?
The good old weightlifting pentathlon. Brother v brother, brother v brother.
Yeah, let us know how you go.
You
Honestly,
guys
they
have
should
a
throw in a 6th event, wrestling, and I'd fucking have that on lock.
But then it's you could finish even. Oh, but you
Oh,
still got
yeah,
the point
true.
system. But how are you
Yeah.
going to score wrestling? Get some
Judges,
UFC
score
judges.
out of 10. Yeah.
Get Levi.
Get Adelaide Bird in your corner. You'll need it. Fuck off. Do you watch UFC?
No.
He doesn't watch
fully
any
I don't watch
tunnel
sport.
anything else.
vision.
Yeah.
You don't even watch weightlifting.
No.
Just his brother's IG. And that guy you showed me before.
I don't even follow him.
Oh, yeah, he did say that. Should we get in our scripted questions so we can get more from Pat?
Yes.
I feel like we haven't spoke to him in like 15 minutes.
Let's get him back in.
Yeah, let's get him back in. He's answered his 5 favourite athletes.
Yeah, has that
We went
changed
through
at
that
all in the
week.
last year?
Yeah,
Probably
anyone
not
you've
because you
liked.
don't watch sport.
Yeah, no, it's changed. Again, I'm biased,
A
but
few more of the Roosters.
Tedesco's
in there.
yeah,
moved up
a
to
few more
number
Roosters
1.
boys. Daniel Tupou, he's my favourite.
He's a fucking good bloke. He seems like the
I shouldn't say
friendliest
my
guy
favourite.
ever.
I don't have favourites,
Oh.
but like when it comes to like athletic ability, like I fucking love watching him on the field.
Dude, he's that one-legged leap in the grand final when he went up to take a ball. Oh,
Which
forget
one?
which. Well, there was one where I noticed, and I even sent it to my coach. I was like, "Look at this guy fly!"
Yeah.
because he just went up with these. It was like 2 steps off one leg.
He'd be top 5 on our kind of jump.
yeah, and he's already like 6'4".
Yeah, 6'3", 6'4",
Like he's
yeah.
tall,
4, yeah, probably
Yeah.
6'4", yeah.
and the friendliest guy on Roosters team, I reckon.
Yeah, but even like on the on the other end of the field, the way he fucking carries the ball, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast, and he was massive for us this year. Like what he did, yeah. I'd sit on the
Pat him on
sideline,
the back.
and he'd do he'd run the ball or he'd jump and catch or whatever he'd do. I'd be like, fuck, I love this bloke.
And then on half time, half time he's running this shit. You're like, "You're my favorite." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Nothing, mate. Nothing.
Never do that. Never do that.
And then Tedesco runs by and you're like, "No, you're my favorite, Teddy."
Oh, just quick. If we're not going to change the top 5 athletes too much, one thing I was wondering is, do you have anyone who obviously they're all animals on the field if they're playing top level NRL with the Roosters, but do any of the boys surprisingly underperform in the gym? Like they're just not that gym strong as they say. Because I've always been kind of gym strong, but then outside of the gym, I just suck. And I'm just wondering if it ever goes the other way.
I don't think so.
It's just
no,
not a
I haven't.
thing.
No.
Because I guess there's so much less skill-based, the gym stuff, compared to what they have to do on the field. And all the rate of force development happens quicker out there.
Yeah. But I just think like with the style of play that we have, like obviously I'm not going to say that anything we do in the gym like directly transfers to what happens out on the footy
Mate,
field.
haven't you seen those studies that Chris
But-
A. Beardsley posts? It's like hip thrusts directly increase the amount of tackles in rugby games. Like some of the leaps they
I hope
make
I'm not
are
going to S&C
crazy.
hell, but I'd never do hip thrusts.
Man, fucking... I've been on the biggest anti-glutes train. Only because I hopped on it so hard.
What the fuck? Like the barbell wasn't designed to sit across your hips.
And
Yeah.
it's quite uncomfortable to be
And
honest.
it's just like...
like,
everyone
you have to
can
be
hip
like
thrust
an
heavy.
idiot to
I
work
haven't
that
hip
out.
thrusted
It's
in
not
over a
comfortable.
year. I'll hip thrust 250 right fucking now. Not that, like, it
Can,
just...
can you lock your hips under it?
Yeah. And the
Fuck, that's
man.
solid.
Who cares?
And that's
Yeah,
the other
true,
thing.
true.
No one cares how much you hip thrust.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just every guy's ticket to posting a 200 kilo lift on Instagram.
Hey, I'll cop that. That's
It
fair.
is. It
That's
is.
fair.
It's like, all right, so I can't lift well. All right, I'll post a 200 kilo hip thrust.
From an angle that doesn't show me not locking out.
And it's like, it's just the new edgy things. I was like, oh, can you believe that I'm a guy and you wouldn't think that I train glutes, but I do. Like, that's anyway, it's not edgy anymore. Get over glutes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
The
Brett.
point
I'm
I
sorry,
want-
Brett Contreras.
The point I wanted to make about like the transfer thing, though, was like, yeah, it's not about any one lift that we either do or don't do in the gym, but when we are lifting, the way we're lifting, the intent that we lift with, that's what transfers on the footy field. Like, it's not about whether you full range squat or whether you power clean or don't power clean or whatever it is. Like, whatever you're doing, if you're fucking doing it with intent, that's what's going to transfer. I just choose to back squat full range or front squat full range and power clean, power snatch.
Do everything. And
Fucking
going back
oath.
to what you said about guys being like strong on the field but not strong on the in the gym, I reckon it's like really a coach thing. Like if you've got an athlete that's that big and strong going against someone on a field,
Yeah,
you
true.
can figure it out if you have a good coach and get them strong.
They've got to
in the
be doing
gym.
something.
So I just think not being gym strong is just that's when it might come back to the strength and conditioning coach. Like figure it out, get them lifting.
Well, getting strong is pretty easy to do.
As Mike Guadango put it, in terms of strength and conditioning for field sports, getting strong is like falling out of a boat and hitting water.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But like getting powerful and like one of the things actually, so when I make my reports at the end of the year, actually last year, I had to get my accreditation with ACA, and one of the things you have to do is like create like a journal article.
Is that level 2?
Yeah, level 2. Yes, they made that that was like a requirement now to work in the NRL, which is a good
intense.
thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, it was a fucking hard thing to do. So I did like a case study like on our squad, and I sort of compared the numbers of the boys that got selected to play in the grand final last year versus the boys that didn't get selected to play. And I did the same thing again this year. And the biggest thing this year was it wasn't like numbers in like back squat, bench press, that type of thing. There wasn't a real difference whether you got selected or didn't get selected. Obviously, it was we had a few guys that didn't get selected. Like Zane Tedovano played every game this year, barring a suspension for a week or two, except the grand final.
Fuck, that's heavy.
And
man.
he's like our second best bench presser. So straight away, that's going to shift that one.
Throw out all the benches then.
Nah. But the thing was though, and like this is obviously no surprise to probably anyone, I suppose, but the Olympic lifts and the power scores, that's what separated the
correlated.
boys. So it wasn't so much how much force you can produce, it was how quickly you can produce that force, which
Yeah.
was more of a indication than not. So
There was something about that with the 2 Chinese sprinters. I think Joseph Coyne spoke about it. He had like Sun. Oh, I'm going to butcher their last names. But there's the short guy who's a beast. He was the first Asian under sub 10.
Yeah, right.
And it was like they both had a certain weight. One was lighter than the other. But all that mattered was how quick they were moving it when he was training him. And they both had like very close to equal 100 times. And he was exactly like that. It was just how quick you move in it for yourself.
100%. Joseph was a big influence on me this year, using those push bands a lot more, especially with the Olympic lifts. So that was that was a big part of our program this year, actually.
What's he been doing? I know
He's
he's
had
He's
a
in China.
performance at
Yeah,
the
UFC.
UFC Performance
Yeah.
Institute at Shanghai.
That's hectic.
I don't know.
It'd be such
China.
a sick gig.
Yeah. There'd be some good technology. Yeah, look, I don't know. Have you ever what's happening
If you want
over
to live
there?
in China, yeah.
Yeah. All the stuff with the NBA.
Oh, the good boy system or something that they've got.
What's going on there?
Oh, it's
So-
like if you pick up trash on the street, you
Oh,
get
no,
a
I
good
was-
boy point, and then if your mate's acting up, talking shit about the government, he loses a good boy point.
What?
And then you get certain privileges if you're being a good boy.
No,
I don't
was
think it's
talking
called
about
the good boy
The
system,
NBA,
so.
so the Houston Rockets have
They're over there or something?
Huge
Yeah,
following
yeah.
in China.
Yeah, I mean-
I think it's like 30% of their revenue. Yeah.
Right.
And their owner came out and sort of said something negative about what's happening in Hong Kong. So they pretty much
pretty
tore up the NBA agreement in China. And then the NBA was like, oh, no, Australia, because so much of their revenue. They're like, no, he doesn't represent the NBA. That's his personal beliefs. And just pretty much was like anything to keep that Chinese revenue
shit.
coming in. Yeah.
It's heavy.
It is heavy.
Because that's the thing as well. Like, then does it make Chinese people's life less good because they can't watch basketball
Oh
anymore?
no! Apparently, like VPNs are a thing over there as well.
Oh, okay.
See, what we get told is like you can sort of work your way around the government network
But then
what
do
I've
you
been
get
told.
thrown in the slammer for using a VPN? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
The
That's
freaking
as
hell
far
is a
as I got.
VPN?
So it's basically it.
I don't know what
So
the
you have an
acronym stands
internet
for, yeah.
address.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you don't have a VPN. Someone can trace where you're using your phone or your computer. If you have a VPN, it
Jesus.
directs it to anywhere in the world.
Jesus.
So it's like, I might be using this computer now. I don't have it switched on, but I can turn it on and say I'm in Dallas. Yeah, or China. Actually, I don't know if you
That's
can do
weird.
China.
So it's handy on, let's say, Netflix. If you want to see something that's on American Netflix.
Oh,
you can be like, "Oh, I'm in America
okay.
now."
yeah, and
Okay.
your Netflix is like, oh, wow, we went on a quick trip to America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's good.
I don't know. Where were you going?
Scripted
with that point?
questions.
Scripted questions.
That's
Oh,
the
do
beauty
you have a
of the
party
podcast.
trick?
No.
Think about
Solid
it,
bench
though.
press.
Everyone comes out with one eventually.
No, I don't think
Can
so.
you pelican a beer? I feel like that's the quintessential party trick.
I don't think I have one.
Don't have one? Damn. That's all right, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Next question.
It's probably in poor taste to have a ripping party trick when you're involved in the NRL.
Yeah.
Might come back to haunt me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Next minute, all over the Sunday Telegraph.
Next question.
What is it? I don't know. What's the next one?
I don't know what ones we had last time, so I'm just going to obviously respect about the 5 favourite athletes. What is something, it's the shirt challenge. If I could turn back time, what's something you'd change?
Yeah.
It's like a fun regret.
I've got a couple of things
question.
I'd change when I think about them. I'd change the subjects I did at school.
Oh, I like that.
What did you do?
PDHPE.
Drama?
I did.
tech?
Yeah, I did PE. I did English, maths. I did. What is it? 3-unit maths.
Fucking respect.
So I did it. Well, I did 11 units, and the 1 unit that didn't count was the extension maths. So I should have just fucked that off from the beginning.
Yeah.
I did biology, waste of time for me because I was like, yeah, I love human body. I want to learn about the human body.
Learn nothing about
And
it.
there was all about plants and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Learn more
So
in PE.
I would have not been so scared of physics. I would have done physics because it just would have been more maths anyway. So I wish I'd done physics, that's for sure. Not bothered with religion because I was no good at English.
What
and
school did you go to? Catholic school?
Yep.
Catholic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a
same.
review.
Did
Um,
you do
Smashed
studies
it.
in
That was my
religion?
best score.
Yeah.
Religion?
Apparently it
Jagged
ranked you
best.
up.
Yeah, no, actually, to be honest, I say that.
It
I should-
scales really well.
I got my religion was my best one as well, but
Yeah.
I was no good at English, and in religion you just write. So
Yeah.
I don't even know why I did it.
See, I did Catholic studies, and they're like, you can't fail because it's all about your interpretation of
Look, you're
Catholicism.
Catholic, so
Yeah.
it's like-
Tick. Did you turn up to church? Yes. Hey.
Another thing I'd probably change if I could go back in time was I wish I had the opportunity to work in a school as like an S&C coach before, Roosters or anything like that. I wish, I wish I had the opportunity to do something like that.
So
I think that would have been.
Forget FF straight in the school system.
Oh no! Like I don't regret.
You're not
I
a legit
definitely don't
fitness
regret.
practitioner if you haven't come through FF.
That's
No,
true,
yeah, I
that's true.
definitely don't
Facts.
regret any of my time fitness first because
Yeah.
I met some really good people there that have obviously helped shape the.
Anyone that you're still tight with today who's doing big things, like in your cohort from Fitness First?
Yeah, well, so Sebastian Oreb was in
Yeah,
our
there you
gym,
go.
so
Yeah, there's always
he's
someone hectic.
killing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a big influence, obviously. Helped push me into all the Poliquin stuff, and there was one other thing I was going to say.
You've had some good ones. Like, might be our best share challenge answers yet.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say, sorry, along the lines of working at school, I wish I, rather than obviously I don't regret being really niched in that sort of strength power area, but I suppose if I hadn't have got into this so early, I would have. I do envy in a way guys that get to they start off, say like Graham, working in New South Wales Cup level, but racking up that experience of just doing everything. So having being forced to have
being
to be
head of performance at a smaller operation.
well, yeah, like in terms of being a real generalist.
Fuck, Graham would love that.
That
compliment
would
as
well,
a-
like
as a generalist.
honestly, like that's something that I do envy with guys that have obviously had that opportunity, is that they've been forced to learn, like spread their sort of expertise or whatever you want to say. They've definitely had to at certain points be more generalist rather than obviously strength and power is a very specialist type thing.
That's it. I guess for you now as well, when you try to broaden yourself to be more of a generalist, you'd also be like, well, this isn't what I'm getting
It's
paid
hard,
for
yeah,
right
it's
now.
yeah, exactly.
Hard to
like,
justify it.
Yeah. So and that's fine. Like I know what I'm good at. And yeah, I'm happy with where I am. But yeah, if I could turn back time.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, if I could turn back time. What a great song. We have so many American guests on. They're like, "What song is that?" But every Australian, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I know that song."
Yeah, is she Australian or is that a fuck? I hope I don't feel young for saying that.
You don't know. Why do people not know?
Is she Australian?
Is she Aussie?
Well, if Americans don't know, her,
no,
what is
she's
she?
not Australian.
Oh, so I thought you were saying you don't know the song for.
No, I know the
there.
song,
Yeah.
but let me
no,
say-
she's American. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
American.
so-
Oh, she might be.
But Americans don't know the
Canadian.
song.
No, like heaps of them are like, what's that? Now play it. They're like, oh, that's pretty catchy. I'm like, you haven't heard it. I'm like, that song's the '90s. Like in Australia, it's like that song.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
she wanted
okay.
to turn it back to the '80s when she was younger.
You know, Matt Harvey's uncle wrote that or something. Like has writing credits.
When I think of that song, I think
That's-
of Simply the Best and songs like that.
Yeah.
great.
Who sung that
era.
one again?
Sure.
No.
No.
It's a similar sort of theme, though.
Tina Turner.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well,
sick.
similar sort of person.
Did you do music in high school?
No.
Should've.
For some reason, I was just thinking about that song.
Yeah, great song. And the last question is, I don't know if you answered this, and I'm going to ask it again. If you go have a rapper rap about you, who would it be, and what would they say?
Shit.
I'm guessing we didn't ask you that last time.
It's funny, actually. I'll tell you what. All my music on my phone is all like NWA or whatever's come about since NWA.
So like a more old.
Let me just
old
quickly
school
go on
one.
to artists.
Yeah, go
for it. Dr. Dre.
Few Islanders.
Yeah,
Ice
it's a bit better.
Cube.
Do any of the boys rap?
Funny you say that. Actually, one of the boys actually. So some of the boys, yeah, they like to string lyrics together.
Yeah, nice,
what do you call
nice.
it when you're off the cuff?
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
love like there's a crew. They love to freestyle, and one of the boys.
It's definitely none of the white guys because we just don't have that rhythm.
Yeah, it's not,
Mainly
it's not.
not.
Tedesco.
Yeah. It's not
No.
Tedesco.
No, but one of the boys he put this this freestyle rap thing together
Yeah.
and put like a beat
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever
Oh,
and
hectic.
sent it to one of the boys. Apparently, this was like in like it's either grand final or this is the week before the grand final.
Yeah.
And so straight away this tune started circling, and we were playing in the gym and like boys. So we the boys have like the big speakers when we walk from the club to the ground here for training.
Yeah,
They all walk with the speakers.
Yeah.
It looks sick. Anyway, and so they're playing this tune. That was so funny.
Is it good or not?
Send it through if you get.
Yeah,
I
it.
don't have it on my phone.
Can you please
I
send
don't
that
have it on my
through?
phone, but it was like it was one of those like sort of about love or whatever. But
Also, it's more
So
of
it
an
had some
R&B.
feels. Wasn't just like typical.
like
rap.
there was some
rap talking about
pitch
selling
to it.
drugs. And,
Like was it hype or was it like a harmony sort of R&B style?
mumble rap? Like,
Yeah. Was it like?
No, it was
did
one
have
of
a
like
real,
when
heavy beat?
they put like a little like the chorus or the chorus they sort of sing, but then like the verse they rap it.
So it's like a Drake style. Tune.
Yeah.
yeah,
They can
okay.
break like they've got a good voice, but
Yeah.
they can
So
string
it's
some lyrics
definitely
together.
Islanders, generally speaking, have much better voices.
He was Islander.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like every Islander just can sing. It's just like
Yeah, they can sing, they can dance,
yeah,
they can play footy,
yeah,
they can
definitely
lift.
play footy.
They're
Yeah,
freaks.
yeah.
But yeah, so the boys were giving it to him because he's pouring his heart out.
Oh, so he put some feels into it.
Yeah,
Why
like,
did
it
he
was
show
mad,
everyone
like,
if
honestly,
he
it was
gonna put
mad. It
feels
was
into
really good.
Who was he singing about?
Oh, I don't know if he was singing about anyone in particular, but
Obviously something.
I don't know.
He was singing about what's the NRL trophy?
I don't know
The two
pro
guys hugging
proven
each other
summons
trophy?
Yeah,
proven
He was
summons.
singing about that.
Maybe.
He really
I
missed.
don't think so, but yeah.
Well, there you go. That's a.
But yeah, for someone to rap about me, I don't know.
him.
Probably someone white.
Him. Someone
Ed
knows you
Sheeran.
well.
Ed Sheeran can break into rap.
Yeah. Ed Sheeran could break into
Yeah,
rap.
so I'll pick him. I'll
yeah.
pick him.
And what would he say? Redheaded brother.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the Australian S&C version. Actually, no, you don't want to be the Australian S&C version of him because he apparently rips off everyone's songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
but
gets
see,
heaps of
that's the
lawsuits.
thing.
Oh,
You
he's
don't
good
want
at
to
it.
be too original in S&C. You kind of want to be derivative, so you're not doing anything too wild.
Yeah, right.
Like, if you were the only one doing what you're doing, you'd just be like, oh, I don't know anymore.
But yeah. I reckon that's a solid episode in the can. That was like an
It's
hour.
fucking
And,
good.
that was an hour and
Let us
20.
know how you go when you face off against Michael in the weightlifting pentathlon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll let
right.
you know as well.
We're posting about that.
Yeah.
We're going to be going. I reckon the week in between Christmas and New Year's.
All right, we'll just fucking do everything when it suits you. That's
Well, when
good.
does it suit you,
I'll
Angus?
overcome adversity again.
When does it suit you?
Whenever. We'll
Right
do it
now.
right now. We'll do it Christmas. You're going down.
No, I got to start doing some jerks.
But yeah, you do.
I'm coming up to use the fucking power bands.
Wait, are you good at jerks?
Not especially.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry,
he'd
mate.
figure
Yeah,
it
barking
out.
up the wrong tree.
No,
there.
I'll just get a strong strict press. And they were strict pressing.
I'm not really sure. It's probably
Yeah,
better off
true.
push pressing. And to be honest, you're probably better off just jerking.
I was thinking about just bombing and just like being like, oh, that'll do. And just like knocking out like 90. Actually, I'd be quite happy if I could. I'd power clean 90 and then just, I don't know if I'd split jerk or power jerk.
But you might snatch 90.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
My best full snatch
You're
is 80.
fucked.
My best power snatch is 85. So my best power snatch is 5 kilos heavy. I hate bottom position.
Wait,
I don't want
what?
to see it. My best full snatch is 80. My best power snatch is 85.
I feel like you shouldn't even say my best snatch is 80. You should say I just haven't
Yeah.
snatched any heavier yet because I just haven't actually gone up to the
and
bar
that
and done
was
it.
3 years ago. Like I've power snatched since, but I just haven't
It's
full
been a
snatch.
3
Well,
year
that's better.
plateau.
Just say I
yeah.
haven't. Like
But
me,
I-
I don't do full snatch. If I full snatch,
but
it's
even yours
because it's
is
missed power.
deep. Yeah, they're a deep.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even
My
seeing.
full
it.
snatch is just a
assumed
missed
you had
power.
bung knees.
No.
No, so you still
No, I
sink down.
despise
Like
weightlifting.
your
Don't you want to just snatch
your
more?
femurs will see parallel. Mine are like, we're going out. My feet are going out. To
Oh,
get under that
right.
thing. Oh, yeah. We're going.
Sumo.
Whoops.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man snatching.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway, any last words? What you got going on? Got anything coming up?
Another premiership.
Another premiership?
I'm just on
He's
off
going to say it
season.
now, make some big statements.
Nah. I'm just on off season at the moment, and pre-season starting up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So enjoying the time off.
You want people to join in your classes at Athletes Authority, or are they comfortable with capacity?
Hey, if you're looking to train, come to Athletes Authority.
Mate, it's not a fucking F45 class.
What do you mean?
It's definitely not an
oh, yeah,
F45
100%
class.
not.
Oh, how did you feel about? Do you see when F45 got into youth training briefly?
Oh, yeah, and Athletes
That was
Authority
heavy.
were posting about it. Yeah.
they just tore him a new one.
Yeah, that was good stuff. From
Like
Athletes
I
Authority.
said, I don't really pay attention too much other than what's going on at the
You can't be
NRL.
getting in beefs. Yeah,
Yeah, true. Otherwise, you'd be like Angus. No, you've been good.
is what it is.
All right, so nothing to plug. Your Instagram, PJ Lane 92.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
You'll
I'm back
be
on
posting-
now.
Yeah,
I was off it for a
Post
while.
some more for us.
yeah, you post some good stuff when you're regularly posting.
I'll
I
start.
think it's
I'm
good.
starting to
Yeah,
check my stories. I post stories rather
you're
than
putting up
post. 'Cause I never
stories.
feel like this is worth posting. You know.
Have you seen the shit I post once
Yeah,
a week?
just
You can put
lower
it
your
out there. Mate.
standards.
People will be thankful.
Yeah. Okay.
There's always someone worse off than you, and in this case, it's me. So you can post it. Angus, what about you?
What's going on in my life?
No, just anything else you got going? Like what? Anything you
You
got
got your
say?
Bucks.
We got my
tomorrow?
Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
This time
Oh,
in 24
nice.
hours, we'll be in some sort of state.
Oh,
Nice.
man,
As in
it's
the
gonna be
state will be
brutal.
Victoria.
Let's
let's
end
end it there. All right, guys, there you go. Episode 152. Make sure you follow Pat on the gram and pray for me over the weekend. See you guys next time.